Hey, and welcome to the No Chords But the Truth podcast in association with the British Country Music Festival. My name's Matt Spracklen, and on this episode I was joined by Twinnie, and we sat upstairs in Bertie Blossom's in Notting Hill with a gin. We paused and then started one of the best conversations I've had in a long time. I say conversations, you won't hear much from me, but what Twinnie has to say is so true, important and thought-provoking. We talk about the struggles she's had to face, we talk about women in country music, mental health, and we hear all about the new album. I know you're going to really enjoy this, so here is No Chords But the Truth with Twinnie.
Da 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 da, and welcome to Matt Spracklen's podcast.
Welcome to the No Chords But the Truth podcast with Twinnie, with special guest Matt Spracklen today, in Bertie Blossom's.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran's pub.
Yeah.
I met him once, you know. He said I had a nice t-shirt. It was a friend's t-shirt. I know that's about as much interaction. I've met him twice now.
We've spent many late nights putting the world to rights. And so you've got a lot to say and I've got a lot to say about so many things.
About so many things.
So many things. And it's normally over drinks. So
yeah.
That's why we're going to have a gin and talk about it. And so I want that to be, I want you to feel totally, no, this is.
When do I never tell the truth?
Exactly.
I always get in trouble with everybody for telling the truth. People don't like the truth. I've realised this. So it makes me very unpopular at times. But I can't be any other way.
Have you always been like that? Did you get in trouble at school and stuff for just...
No, do you know what I think it was? I spent a lot of my childhood growing up in a situation that was predominantly... I was being lied to. So we won't delve into that. It's not a therapy session. But no, like, I think everybody has triggers and we're all human. And I've just always been a very straight up person. I think if my mouth doesn't say it, my face says it. And I think, like, no matter what people say about me, I think they would always go, well, she's honest and she's upfront and she's direct. And not many people can deal, especially as an artist, I think, like, and as a woman, people are just not used to someone going, actually, I don't like that. No. Oh, no, I don't know better, but this is what my gut feeling says. And I don't know, it's quite interesting. Obviously, it was kind of celebrated when I was up north because that's how everybody was.
Yeah.
But other than that, coming down to London...
North-South divide personality clashes.
Yeah, I mean, I get on with, obviously, certain people and certain people I don't. But that's just being part of being human. So I don't think I've ever struggled to tell the truth. I think it's just been very built in me because I spent a lot of time, like smoke and mirrors. And I can sniff out a liar.
Yeah.
I can read people's body language and all the rest of it, and I just know. So there's just no point in you lying to me because I'll find it out. So it's just the way I am. Unfortunately, it gets me into trouble sometimes, but you can't.
Well, there's not enough rock and roll, is there, in music anymore? So you can we can deal with trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like a rock and roll person. I don't take drugs. I'm not drinking all the time. I know it seems like I'm drinking all the time, and I am having a gin now. But I think I'm quite well behaved considering I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I work all the time.
Yeah,
and I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I think I just struggle to switch off from my job quite a lot of the time, and I put a lot of pressure on other people because I've been so used to self-managing myself and without a label that I'm like, it doesn't really compute in my brain. I don't know, I think we're all on the spectrum, but I definitely am. Just the way my brain is wired, I can't, if I don't know something, then I need to know it and I need to understand it.
Yep.
And if something's not working, then I'm going to go, right, okay, so how do we change that strategy? And this is just general in my life.
That's just having control, though, over...
Yeah, I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
I am a control freak.
Totally get that.
Totally and utterly, I will, self-confess it, I am. But I think that, I don't know. I know my faults anyway, but my brain doesn't compute people not being on all the time because I'm on all the time.
Yeah.
And that has been the biggest struggle for me, I think, in life.
Because you kind of expect not just everyone else to be on it, but to understand that you're on it and to take...
But I expect a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not... I wouldn't say I'm the most complex person in the world, but I have certain things about me, how I'm wired.
Yeah.
And I expect a lot from my friendships. I expect a lot from my... my work stuff and my personal relationships, and I'm just an all-in person, so I think I've struggled to balance. Like, I sacrificed everything for my music career.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a life, and I should probably have a life, because if I let go of it more, probably I think I would feel less pressure that I put on myself. But
What stops you from letting go then?
Well, I think it's just a control thing, to be honest. I don't, if you look at my career, I've been non-stop since I was 4 years old. And I've not just, I think people in this country, and I've been back and forth to America where they celebrate this, but people like to put you in a box and a label.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays, you can't even label people. People identify with being a man or a woman, even if they're, wasn't born that way. And music is the only thing we label. Genre, I don't believe in that either. It's just like good and bad. And I've just constantly, I never switch off. So I've really had to try, because it's damaged a lot of relationships, personally and work-wise. I think people are hesitant sometimes to go, oh, well, she'll just want it her way. Because I have such a vision of who I am, because it's taken me a long time to get to this point. So yeah, I never want anything to fail. I'm not frightened of failure, but if I feel like I haven't done my best, or people around me haven't done my best, and I fail because of somebody else not doing it, then that doesn't sit well with me. Like, do you know what I mean? So I'm a perfectionist with my music. I'm a perfectionist with how I like my show. And I'm not that easygoing with stuff like that, unfortunately. And the people that love and care about me and really know me and know how to deal with me get that. But then that's how you filter out your people, isn't it? You find your people. And even throughout this process, I'm finding new people that... I'm such an energy person. I buzz off people. So if someone's making me feel good, or like, and I don't respond to bullshit as well. I don't want people blowing smoke up my ass for the sake of it. But I don't know. I just get like really hyped, and I want people to do well. And, I like pushing my friends on, cheering them on, and being surrounded by people, like-minded people that go, oh, well, it doesn't matter because of your age, you can't do this, or the fact that you're a woman, or, or, well, it's country pop and it's not been... None of that matters to me. I'm like, I love a challenge. If you say no to me, then that's pouring gasoline on my fire. I'm like, I'll prove you wrong. Because I think in my childhood, I was always told, I grew up in a culture where I wasn't allowed to do, even go up the park, because my dad was so overprotective. I lived in a different circle. I lived a completely different life to any of my friends. So I'm always got this fight in me that I've never been good enough. And I have to prove that I am the best. And I think that's why I left home at 15. I got my first job in London when I was 19. I'd when Brian May from Queen gave me my first job. Then I went from ensemble. Nobody in my family knew about music, so it wasn't like Nashville where you knew to go to Music City. Yeah. There was no one around me like that. And if like my heritage, like they just didn't have a clue. So I had to figure everything out by myself. And I think that's because I've always had that independence. I don't rely on anyone. I never rely on anyone. So I went from ensemble to playing a lead. I was the youngest ever to play Velma Kelly in the musical Chicago at 21, which was amazing. And I would like kind of tick things off, really fast track them, then did a TV gig, and then got my, starred opposite Glenn Close and The Wife and did all these things, but in the background was always doing music, but couldn't really figure it out. Like, couldn't find the right people. But through musical theatre, I found my first manager. And through that manager, I found, like, the writing session, and then found John Green, who is one of my best friends. If you don't know who John Green is, he's amazing. He's produced loads of records. He's just had his first country number one with Lady A. What If I Never Get Over You, and he produced all the James Bay stuff.
Such a big track.
He's like amazing, but he changed my life because he was the first person really that believed in me, because I grew up on Hollywood movie musicals. I respect a discipline of like dancing and acting and singing and writing. Like, I want to be all of that, all encompassing. I want to be a performer. And because I'd come from like a different world, I hadn't had a rich mum and dad. I'd had to work all my life to get where I wanted to be. I lived alone in London. I was grafting and I was hustling. And I think he saw something in me and respected it. And even before country music is a thing, because I feel like it's like pop. You know, it's country pop. It's storytelling. It's almost like, if you look at Ed Sheeran, if his, you know, his singer-songwriter stuff is almost like folky country stuff, but just with a different production. Yeah. And I grew up on people like Shania Twain and Dolly Parton and Billy Joel, and rappers, funny enough.
What rappers?
Oh, just like all the famous ones. Biggie, Tupac. I think Tupac's like the most amazing thing ever. Was the most amazing rapper. For me, he's more of a poet. I just love his stuff.
Yeah.
But also a lot of my family were telling stories when, they're showmen, they put on a good show. Yeah. Like, we used to go down the working men's club from, when my grandma would play bingo and she'd make me sing, and then they'd call it at the end and they'd be like, order, let us sing. And then my grandma would sing, and a bit like Irish folk, like you've seen Catherine McGrath's videos. It was a bit like that. Yeah. So I had that real community, and then obviously I found out about Nashville through John and went back and forth there and just really fell in love with the community there. And yeah, I'm not letting you talk at all, am I?
I mean,
I haven't even had a gin yet.
I might just pop back in a minute. This is perfect. By the way, cheers.
Cheers. But yeah, what was the question?
There hasn't been one yet.
There has. we were talking before, so.
So how old were you when you first started playing music?
When I first ever sang, and this is the God's honest truth, I was probably about 9 months old, and there was actually a video of me and my dad singing, and I'm like copying. And my dad says on it, oh yeah, she sings, she dances, she's a proper little poser. I think it was just always in me. Whether I was like starved of attention and just was like a complete drama queen all the time. But when you see kids and you think, oh, they don't really change. Yeah. Like I've always been the same really. So, and then I got my first piano when I was, I think 8. And then I didn't pick up the guitar until I was really, really in my 20s.
Oh, right.
I'm still in my 20s.
A couple of weeks ago. Have you always written music as well? Like,
yeah, I have. In fact, that's how it started for me, because I would write down. Although I'm quite like out there and I'm good in a crowd, I'm really not, I find I've got, I'm not like a parties person. I hate being in situations. If you see me at a party, you'll see me talking to the people I know, because I'm so like, I'm just not good. So I used to write a lot of my thoughts down, spend a lot of time by myself actually, writing poems. And being the oldest of 4, I saw a lot more than what my other siblings did between my mum and dad. And I mean, this is not some boohoo story. This is just life. Like, I had a great upbringing. But I remember when my mum and dad were splitting up, there was a song that I'd written, and I just made up a tune to it. I didn't have any music, but it was like, I must have been about 6 or 7, and I've still got it at home. And when I read it to my mum, she started crying because she couldn't believe that I'd written it. And it was something like 1 in 3 marriages end in divorce. Don't do it, remember, for better or for worse. And it was just like, it was, obviously I'd just been like a sponge and subconsciously seen what was going on, and they really wasn't happy. And yeah, so it started really young, and then obviously when I picked up instruments, then it started to progress. But I definitely think as a writer, because I come from that sort of film-like world, and I think of concepts and I love words, lyrics, and it's all about story for me, I think that kind of helps me. So I think about stories in my head, or people tell me stuff, and then I'll write a story, you know. I mean, I wrote a song last night called Wrong Party, and it was about the Brits, you know, when I got in. It's just like, my brain is always on. I think it's just a way of me expressing myself. Yeah.
But that's something natural as well, isn't it? I mean, so many writers will go to Nashville and spend days writing 3 songs, the lunchbox sessions and all the rest of it on Music Row. But you've either got that in you, or you need to take time to hone that as a craft. I've spoken to so many songwriters, like Lindsay Ell, for instance, who that's the first thing she had to do when she got to Nashville, was like that. But life experiences obviously makes up so much of
course it
of
does.
that. And do you find yourself going back that far as well now, even though you've written for however many years?
Do you know, throughout this album process, I did my thank yous on it today for approval, and I said it's been a dream come true, and it has. But there's been so many times that I felt so vulnerable and so low, like that I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Why do I want to put myself out into the world? Like, for me, songwriting was always just like a self thing of like just putting, when you journal and stuff. But going back to Nashville, I definitely feel like going there, people, because of the rooms that I was in, people are a lot more welcoming, so they make you feel safer. And I'm a trust person. I don't trust anybody. My mum will tell you this. I don't trust anyone, and it's something that I really have to work on, because it hinders me. Like, is that the right word? I think so. But I think that's come from when I've been younger, because I've always had to like rely on myself really to get where I want to be. And also just, I'm the oldest of the family, so you look after your brother and sister. But going to Nashville made me feel safe, and I definitely flourished there, and I feel like I'm such a better writer. Like, it's a discipline at the end of the day, so I wanted to get good at it. I wanted to be the shittest person in the room. I wanted to be in them rooms where I felt insecure, and I found my power there as well, because I thought, no one is me. And that's the power. That is what I say to every new artist coming up, or no matter what age you start writing. You have got a story that only you have got. There is no one like you in this world that can tell your story like you can tell. But people can help you and help bring it out. Yeah. But there is only one Twinnie from York. Literally, there is. I think there's only one Twinnie in the world, actually. But yeah, so I found strength in that. So when I felt insecure, I thought, no, fuck it. I've got a lot to say. They don't know my background or where I've come from. And like Hollywood Gypsy, the album, that's, that is the backbone of me. Like, 2 worlds colliding. And it's funny that I grew up with a mum and dad that are completely different. Probably shouldn't have got married. But I was one person with my dad, and I was another person with my mum. Like, just culturally, who I used to hang around with, how I talked. And I found I've done that in my adult life as well. It's weird what you go back to being familiar with, like dysfunction attracts dysfunction. Or, I feel like I've definitely done that in my adult life. But it's been a strength as well. So, yeah, it's quite weird, really. Looking back on my life so far, of all the people that I've met, and I have a lot of faith as well. There's been times I'm like, why am I waiting? Why do I see everybody, because I used to write with Ben Earl.
Yeah.
We actually started a load of demos, me and him, where it was duets, and that's how he kind of did the Shires, and asked me to sort of be in that, and I declined because I wanted to do my own thing. And then when you see everybody racing past you, people getting signed and stuff, like at the time you can't compute it. You're like, I work so hard and I'm doing this and I'm not. But then you look at me now, and the Shires have opened the gateway to country music.
Yep.
Like, it's like a ripple effect. You just don't know. I'm a very big believer in what's meant for you will be. And I think that's where I find peace. At times, don't get me wrong, like I'll phone my management and I'll be like, I can't do this anymore. I just don't know. I feel like the world is ending, literally ending, because it's the loneliest job in the world, I think, being a solo female artist. It is. And you're in it all the time. You can't be objective about anything because it's you. It's so fucking weird. Like videos, like approving them, or my skin looks shit. People think you look beautiful. I'm like, no, I'm fat. I don't like that. I look ugly. Constantly not being nice to myself. Like, if I was my friend, I just wouldn't be friends with me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was friends with me, if I treated myself like how I treat
you'd be sick of yourself.
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, oh, I don't treat my friends that way. I'm like so positive, but myself, I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, I don't like you. And it's awful, like, because I think that's what I do with my writing. A Type of Girl was all about me being, because I feel like I've got a responsibility as a writer as well to be real. There's so much bullshit out there that you can just do a dance tune or whatever, but I really want to get inside people's hearts and heads and make people either think or cry or dance, because that's what made me want to do music. The power of music, of Billy Joel, She's Got Away, that always sends me back to a memory of me and my ex-boyfriend, of like, and it triggers an emotion. It triggers me being upset. I'm like getting upset about it now, but because that's the power of music. It can take you back. That and smells, to me, I think.
Smells is a big one.
So yeah, just it goes back to telling your own story. I think the best people are always, that I aspire to be like, are authentic in what they're saying, because that's what people, they don't want it sugar coated. People like to listen to sad songs. They like to be sad and think about their ex, or
for someone who brought, one of the biggest tracks of last year was obviously Social Babies, and there was, in amidst all of the social media barrages and the pros and the cons. And
I fucking hate social media.
Yeah, but
it ruins my life.
I know, but do you know what?
It makes people's life, and I know it's a thing that you have to do, but I grew up in a culture where people would knock on your door and you'd be like, you coming out? Like, I feel like we're going so far away from what makes us human. And, nature, like, stuck in a screen all day. You don't know what them Bluetooth head speakers are doing. This 5G, like, apparently causes cancer. I'm like, great. But it's funny how you feel peace when you're in nature. And then that is just chaos. Like, anybody can contact you at any point, and then when someone's read the message, then you get anxious. Oh, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it.
But for someone who writes these songs, I mean, it's going to be so refreshing for people listening to your music and going to your shows to hear this side of it, where they come from, the real you behind it.
Yeah.
But that comes across on your social media as well.
Okay.
There's glimpses of that. You put quotes up, you put meaningful text that a friend has sent you.
I don't like being fake. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't like being fake, because you look at, Social Babies I wrote 5 years ago. Way before it's worse than what it's ever been now. But I feel like we all have a responsibility on social media, and we've created this generation of like being insecure. Like, everybody's insecure anyway, but we're really insecure on social media. So everyone's pictured with their best life. I was like, we should invent shitter and everyone just posts shit pictures of themselves,
That's so good.
and actually it'll make people feel better because it's real. Like, none of it is real, and it's damaging to kids. And I feel really strongly about mental health because I struggle with it myself, and I don't honestly feel like there's enough emotional support around. I really don't. Like, especially what we do, like when you're constantly out doing your thing, you're on show for everybody, but it does take a real effect, and like what people say about you, that's why I don't like it. I mean, God love her, the Caroline Flack thing really hit me hard because I felt like she was, I didn't know, I'd met her once, but she felt like she could have been one of my friends.
Yeah.
And I think there just has to be, I don't know, I want to create a community where people feel safe and feel loved, because we all need love. That's all we're searching for. And Instagram and Twitter, it's all trolls behind that they can say what the fuck they want. And I often try and be too honest on my Instagram. I get told off because I will post shit that I think is funny, or, you know, that someone has sent me, and try and be as real as possible. I don't know, because I'd rather people like me for me than this fake version that I have to carry on for the rest of my life being, you know? And I think the more of that people show, it also shows a vulnerability, and with that, I think it shows people are human, and that's what we need more of. So that was the whole reason behind writing Social Babies, because I wrote that on the train, and I came in with it in the session, and I was like, I've got this, what do you think? Me and Pete just put a track to it, and it was awesome. And I remember writing it that day, and I was like, this is going to be a big song. I feel like this is going to be a big song. And he was like, I hope you're right. And actually John Green didn't agree with me at the time, because it was just a voice note, and then the track came out. I was like, ha, told you. But
It was one of the biggest last year. It was amazing. And, well, how's the album doing? Because everyone's wanting to know when it's coming out. It's finished, isn't it?
It
you said
is
you've written a
finished.
thanks list.
it is scheduled for April the 17th.
Oh, an actual date. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
It's all approved. It's all done. Do albums get pushed back? Might do.
Yeah,
Might
they
not.
do and they will.
They might do, might not. I don't know. I'm like really excited for everyone to hear it, but obviously I have massive anxiety about. I still feel like nobody knows who the fuck I am.
I think everyone knows who you are.
Not yet. They don't. Not in a real way. Not in the real world. I mean, they definitely do in the country community, here and in America. But far as radio goes, not really. Media, not really. It is really hard. I find this has been probably the worst bit of it, because I don't know what's going to happen, and I can control everything.
Because up till now you've had something to build to. And
Yeah,
it's almost like
and
pushing
then-
something off a cliff.
But
isn't
then, like, also, there's two ways looking at it. It comes out, it flops, I get dropped, I keep going. Or it comes out, we keep building, there's more stuff. You don't know which track off the album is going to blow, if it blows at all. The thing is, for me, Hollywood Gypsy is just the first chapter of, like, letting people, my mark on the world, my debut album.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would love it to come out and be a smash and chart. Like, that would be amazing. The likelihood of that happening, I don't know. Probably not.
Do you think the UK market is going to play a big part in that, or are you going to be concentrating a lot stateside as well? Because you mentioned earlier on that the Shires opened up the way.
Yeah.
You know, let's not rule out the country music that came before the Shires, but they, in a major way, in a mainstream way, they have opened up those doors to create a scene where young, aspiring artists, country artists, songwriters, Americana players, everything can have a place in the scene all around the country. There's festivals all over the place now. You know, if there's a country show, it pretty much sells out.
Yeah.
So, but how many country artists are getting signed to a major, or, you know, we're still early on, and there is a tipping point. So,
Yeah.
as
Well, I
an
don't
artist
think,
who's going to
like-
put out an album as big as yours,
I mean, the Shires are they're an act that have been around for a lot of years now, and I'm
Yeah.
a brand new act. If I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't think my music is the same like what we do. I think it tips the pop side of things. If we're being like really honest, Bob Harris wouldn't play Type of Girl, the new version, because it was too pop for his show. So to me, like,
you said did he not play it?
I don't think he did. No, like. He played Type of Girl, the slowed down version, but not the pop version. And I totally respect that because I don't think it fit in his show. Like, it's so poppy, and Social Babies is poppy. Like, that is he's got a responsibility to his listeners to, you know, Ashley McBride and, you know, Casey Musgraves and I'm trying to think, like Willie Nelson was playing that week, and Type of Girl really stands out that it's not in that lane. It's more it crosses over, I think, into both worlds.
Yeah.
So sometimes people don't know where to put me,
yeah.
which I think is a good thing, because if you're not dividing opinion, the thing is, if it fails, which, you know, I don't look at anything as a failure, but if it doesn't, you set an expectation. If it doesn't fulfill that expectation, that is fine. If you look at Lizzo, you know, she released that Truth Hurts 2016, and now it's a smash. Like, anything can happen. But I've tried to stay in my own lane, as in, like, I've created the music for me that I wanted to do. Luckily, I had a label that let me do that. You know, they believed in me enough, and they're really happy with the album. They think it sounds great. But I didn't look at the market and was like, oh, I want to be like the Shires or Ward Thomas, or I want to be like Dua Lipa, or I just wanted to create music because I never write for radio. Like, I wrote a song called Bad Bitch. I know it's never going to get played on radio. It's never going to get played, but it was something that I needed to write. So I'm not an artist that thinks in, like, money-wise, how much it's going to weigh. I know every other person does around me because they all want to make money, but I don't think like that. So, and also, I think that's the best way to be, because if it comes from the heart and it's true and I love it, then I'll light up a stage. If I'm singing music that is just like, nah, okay, yeah, I was made to put this out, it's not going to connect because I'm not connecting with it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, we've been played on radio too. We've been playlisted for Type of Girl.
Yep.
So that's great.
But you're back and forth from Nashville as well, right?
Yeah, and we're doing an EP with BBR. So I think internationally, I'm the only person that's doing that at the minute, which is great. I mean, I did hassle them because I was like, I want to live there. Let me live there. But yeah, for me, that it'll just all cross over, and that's the way it's going. Like, I'm quite forward thinking. Like, Dan and Shay.
That has to happen at some point anyway.
Do you know what? If anything, all this country pop thing, I know people have like been like, it's not country. I mean, if you look at Willie Nelson, he's not the same as Garth Brooks.
They were saying
it's
the
like
same
a
about
different.
Shania Twain in the 90s.
Exactly. I think that what it's done is created a need for people love good songs, well-written songs. They love it. So it's introduced another audience. Like, there's loads of young people that come to my show. You know, and kids. It's gonna go that way, and we're streaming, and I think, I can see it going that way.
It's an exciting place to be, because, you know, the last 3 years it's been growing so much, but whether it's ever going to get to the point where now there is a place for the festivals and the majors coming in and the streaming and the crossover, we're there now. We're there. So, yeah, I think it's a good time.
Well, people like Justin Bieber and Dan and Shay paving the way. Like, people just like good songs.
And BB Rex track, I'm sure George loved it. Meant to be.
Also, I just think that community is awesome. Like, I've never, ever felt like an outsider there.
In Nashville?
Yeah, I'm just in the country scene. Like,
you
it'd be cool.
You spent time with one of the most funniest people on the internet, Dave Barnes.
Oh, yeah. I
is
stay with him and his wife when I go over there. It's so funny. I've got about 5 bedrooms, and everybody's like, when are you coming to stay? I'm like, I have to spread my... I don't feel rested there because I'm doing sessions and then I'm moving house half the time. I'm like texting the group saying, who's got my leather jacket? Yeah, no, he is amazing, an amazing songwriter. Like, I'm just surrounded by great people there that are enthusiastic and, you know, love songs. It's not the same for me in London. I write a lot by myself here, but it's not the same community, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to encourage, because there's loads of great UK talent here that I think needs nurturing, and it's a whole new market. And
What names would you put out there? And
I think Laura Oakes is amazing.
Yeah.
Laura Evans. I'm just going to plug all my friends.
let's go for it.
Um,
Laura Oakes was amazing at the British Country Music Festival last year.
she's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
why is she not signed?
Yeah.
Mind you, being signed isn't all the be all and end all, because you've got more people to please. People are pumping money into you. You have to deliver. I found it so much more easier when I didn't have a manager and didn't have a label, because I only had to answer for myself, and I answered to myself, and I was going off my own timeline.
Yeah, but
That's the biggest thing in this industry.
But you
hurry
do-
up and wait. I hate that. I'm so impatient.
But you do have that advantage of having such a good team around you,
Yeah, they are amazing.
you know, and I get asked all the time by sort of younger artists, do I need a manager? Do I need this? Do I need that? And I'm like,
You
I think
need
that-
the right manager.
I was about to say, the general consensus is, well,
You
yeah,
need the
if you
right
get the
people
right
around
guy-
you. I mean, Steph sat in the room now, and she is one of my managers, but she is probably one of the people that calm me down the most. She's my Taurus sister. But it's important for people to, like, get you. It really is. But I
Yeah.
had to find that. That was not easy. And you know, sometimes you think you find it, and then you work together for a bit, and then it don't work, or whatever. Like, people get dropped, or there's a lot of luck involved in, like, the music industry, I think, and a lot of politics, and
But you've also there is an element of creating that luck. You have got to put yourself in the right place. You
yeah,
have got
I
to
mean,
speak to
I
the right
do.
people.
I to be honest, like, for any young artist that is listening, I ask everybody. I
Yeah.
DM everybody.
Yeah.
DJs, even people that are big, I send them my videos. Even now, I don't care whether it looks like I'm uncool.
There's nothing more.
Shania Twin seen my video, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
Because my management, am I allowed to say this? Yeah. Well, Anastasia is one of their clients, and the backing singer, is she called Amy? No? She, one of the backing singers, also backing sings for Shania Twain.
No way.
And she showed her, and she loved it. She was obsessed with it, apparently.
Amazing.
So, can't wait to meet her. Her and Dolly Parton.
Collab.
So, yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
No, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, the right people. Yeah. I mean, but that's just life. Yeah, I'm a big energy person, so I buzz off people. If they're on my wavelength, on my frequency, as I call it, you can get so much more done. Like, I don't know. I'm in a place now where I've done all I can do. It's up to everybody else now. If the people don't like it, if it doesn't connect, then I love doing it. I love performing it.
Yeah.
So,
But there
I'll
is a
say.
part of that submission that a younger artist or someone without a team around them hasn't got, and you've been there, so you know about it. But you know, there's
You just gotta listen. You just gotta keep knocking on them doors,
Yeah.
banging them down. I kicked them down. I made people listen to me. I just wouldn't go away. I don't go away, and I think that's why people sometimes are a bit like, "Oh God, she's a bit too much." It's because I and it might come across desperate sometimes, and I'm sure I have been in the past. But I'm just like, no, like, that no doesn't work for me. We need to turn that into a yes, because that's not what I want. So I keep going until I get what I want.
Well, it's been
Which is probably not a bad thing.
What's been some of, like, your favourite times in so far? I mean, when I say favourite times, I mean, I'm talking like the last 2 years, maybe. You know, with
Yeah, like
No-
back when I was 6 years old,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had
yeah.
this doll.
hosting the BCMAs with me, probably, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course. Well, I sang with Brian Adams. That was pretty special. He invited me up on stage. Didn't even know me. That was cool as shit. When I found out we were on the train from King's Cross somewhere with my band member Joel and Steph, and Steph told me I'd made the B list on radio for Social Babies. That was awesome.
Yeah.
When I filmed Type of Girl, I loved that video.
Because you've waited for a long time for that to come out. That's been around for a while. That's a song that, like, whenever I saw you live, that's the Twinnie's on stage. That was. Do you know what I mean? It's got that about it.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actual version that's out now was the original version.
Right. Okay.
And they wanted to Nashville slowed it down because they wanted to get it. They thought it was too pop, but they wanted to get it on different playlists and stuff. So, yeah, that. I'm trying to think. There's been so many moments. I guess for me, the best moments for me are like when I see my family and they come and see me on stage, and my grandma and granddad are still able to watch. They're my best friends. They're 84 and 85.
Were your family at the British Country Music Festival?
Yeah, freezing to death. Bless them. They came way too early.
No, that was the BCMAs.
Oh.
At the festival in Blackpool.
Yes, they
Really?
were. Yeah. Yeah, they're amazing. And they do so well, and they never miss a gig. And, you know, she tells the whole world about me. This is great. But I'm going on tour, and I'm going to York, which is amazing. That's nearly sold out.
Brilliant.
Is
that the Fillmore tour? I mean, it's your tour, but is it the one that...
Yeah, it's Fillmore's tour.
Yeah, it's Fillmore's
I'm just clacking around. Yeah, Fillmore's coming on tour with me, so we're doing Glasgow. If you haven't got your tickets, please do, because they are going. Thank God. Glasgow, Birmingham, Bristol, Manchester, York is nearly sold out, and London is almost sold out as well.
Wicked.
So.
And
Yeah.
C2C?
And C2C, doing Berlin, and then doing...
Oh, cool, you did that as well.
And
Wicked.
doing London, but I'm playing the Spotlight stage.
Spotlight stage.
Which is in the arena, if you don't know, guys. Which I'm really
On my birthday.
excited. Is it your birthday?
Yeah, on my birthday, yeah.
Oh, I'll have to sing happy birthday to you then. Yeah, I'm really excited about that because I'm the only British person apparently on there this year. So that was great. It's nice because I've done it. This will be my 3rd year or 4th year that I've done it, and every time I've kind of stepped up. So they've really supported my career and seen how
Does that mean
I've
there's
been.
only one more place to be next year?
I don't think I'll do it next year, like unless something massive happens. But I'd like to come back and actually do the main stage, headline it one day. So we'll see. I don't know. Anything can happen. I mean, look at Lewis Capaldi, who was playing in bars 3 years ago, and now he's just nominated for a Grammy, Brit Award winner.
Yeah, did he win last night?
Sold out his arena tour before his actual album came. I mean, that's the level you really want to be at, isn't it? But that's the power of a song. That's the power of a song. Yeah. And also, he's just fucking brilliant. He just does his own thing, doesn't he? He marketed that thing, I feel like, is himself.
You know he wrote that song about his nan?
Yeah. Quite funny, his interview.
Yeah, where he said, like, and thankfully for me, my nan passed away. So,
I feel like we'd be really good mates.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
He is funny. Yeah.
I wanna sort of go back and talk about something you sort of touched on in your opening monologue.
In my opening monologue.
And that is, you know, I find this quite a hard question to stage actually, because obviously I've got no authority in this question whatsoever, but you've had quite the journey so far, and you are where you are because of who you are and what you do. Yeah. And women in the music industry is such a prominent conversation on social media, across the press, and just everywhere. Mm. Are you finding it easier now than when you started, or is it just as hard? Like, what are the struggles that, like, I know there are struggles. I'm sort of, in a way, I'm setting this up because I know that, you know, you've got thoughts on this, but, you know, we've never really talked about that.
I mean, women generally, I think, have the worst time. Women generally in the music industry, I feel like, have to fight harder. And women in country music, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. Like, how long you got, that's just pathetic. You know, it's 2020, and we're still having to fight to have equal playlist and all the rest of it. And you know, when you think of country music, I think of Dolly Parton. Yeah. Patsy Cline. Yeah. I don't think of a man. I think Johnny Cash. But them three, that's who I think of. Yeah. I'm an alpha female, so men don't like me naturally. I don't think.
That's what I hear.
I scare them off, I think. I mean, they like me, but I have a very strong opinion about stuff. especially when it comes to me, no one knows me like I know me. So don't tell me what I'm supposed to think or feel. Like, yeah, I've struggled a lot with that. I've had to keep my mouth shut and play the game, as they all say. And if I was a man, my life would be so much easier. And people in my own circle, like, I find it difficult. And it upsets me because I'm the person that has to go back and process these thoughts. And it's not like I can talk through it with everyone, you know. I can't talk through it with my mum because she just doesn't get it. That's when I talk to my other friends in the music industry, especially women, because there has been so much crap that I don't even want to say on here.
Do you think it's a lack of explanation as well? You know, like, why isn't the radio play there? Why are the festivals so lopsided?
I mean,
there's no one saying, oh, because it's just, you know.
I mean, their answer can't be, oh, they're shit, because the women in country music and the women generally that I know in music are badass women, because we have to fight harder. We have to, and I hate playing that card because I don't like it. I can stick up for myself, but I always think of like a 16-year-old that's just got signed, that doesn't really know who they are, that been shaped and molded, and go, oh, you can do this, and da 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 da. Like, it goes back to like the support. Like, rarely anybody asks me like, oh, are you okay? Like, genuinely, are you okay? Because I'm so on it all the time. I'm so like just tunnel vision, autopilot. It's only when I get home and I'm like, why did they say that to me? Or why did he say that to me? I start to think, I'm like, wow, if I was a man, he wouldn't, if somebody said that to me and I was a man, I'd have fucking knocked them out. Like, honestly, I would have done. And I'm quite fiery anyway. So and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm very emotionally driven sometimes, especially stuff. I think like people mistake my passion for like being aggressive. Like, I'm like, no, I want this because I want it to work so much. Or I feel like I'm not being heard, and this has happened in my personal relationships as well. And it's something that, listen, I know what I'm like as a person. I'm not the most easiest of people, like when I feel strongly about something. But if I don't feel heard, this is another trigger point. It goes back to being a kid. Like, I feel like I'm that 6-year-old being like, no. But I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you're going to blame the stuff that like the bad, take the bad, you've got to take the good as well. Yeah. And that makes me a fighter. That makes me go, no, sorry. I'm really good at confrontation. Like, not in a fight like I'm going to knock you out, because I don't like that at all. I can't fight, but in a sense of, I feel bad for the other person if I've upset anybody, or like, even if I know I'm right, I'll back down sometimes to be like, okay, it's all right, okay, and then I go back and it manifests itself. And that I mean, I definitely say my piece, but I don't know. I think everybody handles stuff differently. I think I'm a lot more open about if someone talks to me in a certain way. I definitely recognise it. I'm like, no, that's not appropriate, and I'll call somebody out on it. But yet, then I don't want to make a fuss, or I don't want to make a scene, so that half the stuff I just let go. But you know, it's just life, isn't it? Life is not easy sometimes, and it's experience. I take it down to. Do
you have to find yourself holding back on social media, saying what you really think? Yeah.
Yes, I get told off all the time. You can't put that. Don't put that.
What about
because that's how I express myself as well. Like, I feel like I'm very honest in that. Yeah. And sometimes when I'm by myself, I just want to write something, or I'll put up a quote, and it's basically everything that anybody does on social media is calculated. I'm calculated. I know exactly who I'm pointing the finger at. Just don't tag them, you know? But I think, like, oh, look at me, I'm on a sun lounger. Like, you just want everybody to know that you look good in your bikini, girl. That's it.
Yeah. I haven't posted one like that, but...
Yeah, neither have I. I don't like pictures like that myself. Yeah, I don't know.
What about the festivals? The clamour at the moment, not clamour, but the suggestion that there should be 50-50 split.
It's difficult because I feel like if the talent's not there, I don't ever want to be put on a stage for the fact that I'm a woman.
Yeah.
I want to be put on the stage because I'm fucking great and I'm going to sell that crowd, a proper show. And I think like it all comes down to talent at the end of the day. I think the difference in country radio is they basically can see all this talent, but they're not of women, but they're not putting them on. So it's like hitting you. Not only have I chose the most difficult industry to be in and the most difficult job, I've also picked the most difficult genre. I mean, is there something wrong with me? Literally, is there something wrong with me? I must love a challenge. But I like that because we're part of change right now.
100%.
We're part of a change that is going to go down in history. Like CMT made history the other day that said it was 50-50 for women and men playlist. It's amazing because it's not happened.
Yeah.
And it is a boys' club. I feel like the whole music industry is a boys' club, but it's changing. And, I don't know. With streaming as well, it makes a difference. So, yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there, girls, won't we?
When you're touring, or you're writing, wherever you are on your your everyday, I'm talking the touring part of the year and whatever. What is the hardest thing for you? What do you struggle with the most? I'm not trying to turn this into a let's bring it down sort of session.
Let's bring it down.
But it is.
Session.
But we talked about social media.
What do I struggle with, Steph? Come on, you can be. Yeah. What do I struggle with? What's my worst thing that I struggle with?
Sleep.
Yeah. Sleep, but like emotionally. Yeah, I struggle to
Finding
sleep.
the downtime when you're,
Yeah. I don't like sleep. It doesn't like me, apparently. I don't sleep. I don't switch off.
Deliberately.
I dance it. Yeah. Everybody asks me if I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I just dance every single night. And then after I've danced, I get in a bath. I'm not even lying. This is my routine. I've always been a night person, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more creative at night. I like getting up early in the morning and getting shit done, but I'm very... I don't know, it's just my thoughts. I can't switch off. I think if I had a boyfriend as well, then that might help. But saying that, my ex-boyfriend used to get well pissed off with me because I'd just be going on my piano. Be like, get into bed. I'm like, I can't sleep though.
So what do you find the easiest? What do you enjoy most about
Being on stage.
Yeah.
I love chatting shit to the audience. I love seeing their faces, and I love dancing around. Like, to me, I just want to get to an arena stage because then I can put on the show that I've always dreamed of. Do you know what I mean? With my dancers and because I love to dance. I want like the headset and me at the piano, but we've got a long way to go yet before we do that. Hopefully.
So some of the festival stages have been good.
Oh, they've been amazing.
Yeah.
I like sometimes for a new artist, I've had some great spots, like on the main stage for Long Road last year. C2C has been brilliant. We did the BBC Radio 2 stage.
Yeah.
Been on tour with Keith Sutherland. Like, he sells out. Brian I've just had the best time. I have the best my artistry, and the reason why I do this job is because I want to connect with people, and my artistry is my songwriting, and it's being on stage and playing the songs. All the other stuff I couldn't really care about. I don't care about awards. I don't care about red carpets. Like, they're nice, but half the time I just want to hang out with my friends and have a good time and play music.
And that is something about the country community, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a wicked community.
Yeah, it really is. And it's a nice community, I think, to kind of come up in, because everybody looks after each other.
And it's nice to be in a position where you can also treat and give exposure to other artists the way that you'd want that.
Yeah.
You were saying about Laura.
I
both
mean,
of those.
I post about people all the time because I think there's enough room for everybody.
Yeah.
And I would hope people would do that for me when I have stuff. You know, like my friend circle is very small, but we all do that for each other. You know,
Yeah.
like there's enough to go around.
Right. For those listening, I think I might have heard some new unreleased Twinnie material.
Yes, you have. Probably going to get in trouble for that if you put it out.
I won't put it out. But what I will say is that hook,
Yeah.
it's such a Twinnie hook. What's
the Twinnie hook?
The rhythm of that sort of the offbeat.
Well, do you know where
up and
that
down
comes
melody.
from?
Well, that's what I want to ask you. Where? I don't know what to ask you.
Rappers.
Really?
Yeah. Because their rhythm,
Full circle.
their cadences is like, you know, I went into a writing session and I was joking around and I was like rapping, ad-libbing. They were like, do you want to put that in? And I was like, I mean,
But it
do you
is-
want me to? Really? But that's the thing. I was just having fun. I was having fun in the session. And I think about words as a rhythm because I used to be a dancer or still am a dancer. But like, da 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 digga da da da
Yeah.
ba da 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 do you know what I mean? So I feel like just doing that rhythm and then putting words in, if it makes me move, then I know it's good.
Do you know what's nice about it as well, though? And I know that it comes back to the genre conversation, but yes, it is. It's so I can't think of any other singers that sing that way specifically. It is. If someone else sang that song, you'd be like, "Oh, you're covering a Twinnie song." That's how stylistic it is to you. But
Oh.
also, it is a very country thing, and I know you wouldn't have deliberately written to. But that is a very country from the sort of R&B feels of original country
Yeah.
music. It is there. That's one of the such a massive reason why you do so well, because it's brilliant. Your music is
Aw.
brilliant. You know I love your music anyway.
Oh, thank you.
But is that just you? Is it collaborations? Is it different writers, or is it you pick up those hooks yourself musically as well as lyrically?
I would say all of the melodies on the album, and this is like, I'm such a melody person. I think I'm probably, I mean, I'm good with lyrics as well, but for me, even if someone pops out a melody, they're like, do you like this? And I'm like, no, can we change it? Like, a lot of it is me, really.
Cool.
I
I always wondered that because I've never asked you that.
That sounds so big-headed, doesn't it? A lot of it is
No, it's
me,
brilliant.
actually. No, all my co-writers are amazing. Obviously, there's some stuff I've not done, but like words, obviously. I don't know. I'm like digging. But definitely, like, all the melodies are something I'm okay with, or
Yeah.
I've come up with myself, or gone in the room with. Especially things like Social Babies and Type of Girl, Better When I'm Drunk. The way I write as well is if I'll generally write slow. If we haven't got a groove in the room, I'll just
Lie
feel.
to Me is one of the best songs that came out from anyone last year.
Oh,
Anyone.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I love that song. I wrote that about 7 years ago.
Just talking about writing slow.
With John Green.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll pick a vibe that I like off the radio or like an old song and then just ad-lib over it, like my own melody.
Yeah.
So the same chords or whatever. And but generally I do, like, a lot of my songs have like mean chasing. It's like, I like love so much better when I can't get it. Baby, run like I'll never get it. It's got that skippiness about it, like in the pre's. I always say to my chorus, I'm like, let's do a skippy pre because it's too slow now, and they're like, okay, cool. They kind of get it.
Bring it back to rap.
Bring it back to rap.
Definitely rap on the next.
And me and
I'll tell you that.
Blanco Brown have
Oh yeah,
been like,
you gonna do something?
he rang me the other day. He was like, man, we need to get in the studio. I was like, I know,
That'll be so
but
good.
like, yeah, it's gonna be fire when we do that. He's amazing. I love his energy. I mean, he had one of the biggest viral songs last year, The Get Up. It was just amazing.
Mad. His album though is so good.
Yeah, he's great. He's so good.
Some of the harmonies on that.
And he's such a performer. That's
Yeah.
what I love about
I've
him.
never seen him live. Never seen him. I wanna.
He's great. Take it from me. And I'm not just saying that because he's my mate, but Yeah.
Well,
We've come to the end.
thank you for...
You've been really professional now.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
No. Thanks for like genuinely opening up, speaking truth.
I feel like a lot of people are going to hate me after
No,
this.
it's really good.
Oh, yeah, I'm too honest, Anna. It's going to bite me in the ass.
And talking to social media,
Yes.
your social baby, where can we find you?
My boyfriend. I don't have one. Have you heard Cupid? Twinnie official. Twinnie.
Official.
And then official. Yeah. There's only one anyway. But
It's same across all socials. TikTok, you got up your TikTok game.
I know. I'm so shit on that, and you're gonna have to help me. Definitely gonna
We'll
have to help
do
me.
TikTok in a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. It's very nice in here. Thanks, Ed Sheeran.
Thanks,
and
Ed
your
Sheeran.
cats. Thanks for my drink.
Thanks for listening to this episode of No Chords But the Truth in association with the British Country Music Festival. We would love it if you subscribe to make sure you never miss an episode, and extra love if you'd give us a lovely 5-star rating. You can even review the podcast and leave a comment with who you'd like to see on. You can find me on social media at Matt Spracklen. See you next time.